I am in total shock. I know that it's unbelievable. I literally was streaming, and all of a sudden my chat was flooding with the news that the ESPN PLE takeover is starting early, and is starting as early as September 20th. What up, everybody? My name is Sancho West, and welcome to Sancho West Wrestling, where I talk about all things wrestling. If you love wrestling, consider subbing to the channel. My goal is to get to 100,000 subscribers so I can get on my own podcast, Thumbnail at Wrestling is Cool. For those of you who don't know, the ESPN thing is happening. We all thought about it, and we all said that it was going to be in 2026 that ESPN was going to get all the PLEs in the United States. But hold the phone, all that has changed, because now, starting September 20th, the WWE announced a new PLE called Wrestlepalooza, which is a throwback to the ECW days, will be starting at ESPN. So that means the era of Peacock in the United States is ending with Clash in Paris. That is wild. That is crazy to me. This entire time in my previous video that I made on this channel talking about that ESPN deal with the WWE for 5 years, we thought, okay, great, we have options, we could figure things out, we could source cable, we could do a VPN, we could see if we have some kind of a package with Hulu or Disney Plus. We had a lot of things to figure out. If ESPN Plus was along with Sling, with Blue, YouTube TV, Spectrum, like there were so many things that we had to figure out, and we're like, okay, that's fine. We can figure it out later. We have time. We can enjoy the rest of the year, basically, but not so fast. It seems as the WWE is very interested in getting Brock Lesnar and John Cena as their first PLE main event. And if Brock Lesnar and John Cena is going to go down at Wrestlepalooza, oh my goodness, as the first PLE on ESPN, this is crazy, man. This domino effect caused so many other things. And the reason why there was been reported that the Peacock deal had a number of PLEs that they had to do, and then the WWE fulfilled it, and because they were able to fulfill it with SummerSlam Night 2 and with Evolution and things of that sort, they were able to get out of the contract a little bit early. But for me, this causes so much more problems beyond that. We still have issues about the WWE archive. There is still rumors that the Peacock will be adding main cable television, main network stuff over to Peacock. There's also things of that Saturday Night's Main Event will be off of NBC and will go back to Peacock. We cannot mention that Peacock as well has increased the prices overall for the monthly thing, because, you know, NFL is coming around the corner. But it is wild to me to also see the domino effect of having WWE and ESPN partnership. I got to look this up real quick, but yesterday you could not find AEW no longer on the pro wrestling thing. When you click AEW, I'm going to click it right now, it says page error on ESPN. And who knows how else this could cover AEW coverage in various places. Remember, ESPN is owned by Disney, and Disney has a lot of technicals in a lot of different places. Who knows? It could even, who knows, like, what if, dude, this is like a crazy tinfoil hat, just stick with me type of deal situation. What if the WWE told ESPN, like, hey, we don't want the Jaguars, who are owned as well by Tony Khan, his father. If the ESPN was like, we don't want you guys to do interviews with Jaguar players, we don't want you to interview Tony Khan, we don't want Tony Khan on ESPN. There's so many things that are petty that it seems that the WWE and ESPN are willing to do to make sure that AEW knows that they're in a battle. And not only that, Wrestlepalooza is a clear indication of counter programming that will go up against All Out in Toronto that's going down on the same day. So again, who suffers from all this is us, the fans. We have to pick and choose. My co-host Santi was going to go to All Out in Toronto because it's in his backyard. He no longer can go because he's going to have to cover Wrestlepalooza. Now that's an extreme case. This guy's a content creator. It's their duty to cover WWE, and our patrons want us to cover WWE. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are willing to go to All Out or watch All Out. They're willing to spend the $80 or $60 to $80 in return to getting a pay-per-view for AEW. No longer have to make that choice because now they might have to buy that $30 app only for ESPN to watch Wrestlepalooza, to watch the big names. Not only that is John Cena and Brock Lesnar kind of confirmed, but they also have Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, the who's who of the WWE superstars slated to be at Wrestlepalooza. Now, what does this mean for in terms of booking and things of that sort? You can really think about, well, Does Clash matter? I do think Clash matters, but it's no longer going to be a definitive end to a lot of storylines, especially in that Fatal 4-Way, considering that there's a lot of content creators out there were saying like, oh, the WWE spoiled these things, that X person was going to be champion and this person's going to be retained. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they had to do that to get that press release out. I do think that you were not going to have definitive ends. We could have had a surprise ending at Clash where LA Knight wins, right? But I don't think that's no longer the case. I do think that ESPN wants the biggest names possible headlining the main event, which they do have with John Cena, Brock Lesnar, but they want all the big hitters tied to gold. And maybe, just maybe, if you get CM Punk and Seth Rollins at Wrestlepalooza for the title, and that is where CM Punk wins his heavyweight title. Maybe ESPN wants that. Regardless, the headlines will be dominated by WWE, and if for the casual fan or casual sports fan is going to go to ESPN, they're going to watch their sports centers, they're going to watch the programming, you're going to go, oh, all this is happening because WWE is only the thing that's being talked about, because they control all of the sports media, it feels like. One thing I also want to talk about is another domino effect of this relationship with ESPN is the additional coverage of ABC. When I was at the gym today, I looked over in the monitor, at the TV monitor, and I see John Cena on Good Morning America. For those of you who know, for the international fans, that's like a major program for morning television. So John Cena is not only talking about his Peacemaker debut, which, as you can see, the perfect storm is all coming together for John Cena in his media circuit, but he's also talking about the WWE and ESPN and his retirement tour. So that's an additional eyeballs. That's an additional promos that you're getting from John Cena because of that relationship with ABC, ESPN, all intertwined under Disney. There's going to be more opportunities for pro wrestlers to appear everywhere when it comes down to culture, pop culture and things of that sort. So this is really, I would say, devastating for us fans of the United States. And like I mentioned, there are options for VPNs. You could go with one. I'm not sponsored by VPNs, but that is going to be a solid option for a lot of you. You could get a VPN combined with Netflix, because international Netflix will still have all this. But I always feel that VPNs are not a guarantee. Sometimes Netflix throws up the red flag or the yellow flag in some instance and says, hey, you're not allowed to use this VPN, or we detect a VPN, or we're changing your home location, your home address has changed. Is this where you want to change your home location? There's so many different things that could pop up that could delay. So what does that leave us, man? We're the one that's paying more money. We're paying that additional thing at an earlier rate. We thought we had to wait until the end of the year. Now we have to do it pretty much now. And not only that, Wrestlepalooza is going to be there. We're also going to get the Perth, I believe it's Crown Jewel. What is it? Crown Jewel that's going to be over there. I got to look that up. And they're going to have Survivor Series. So the entire train is starting off. Yes, Crown Jewel, that's in Perth. And October 11th will be on ESPN. And the Survivor Series, November 29th in San Diego, will be on ESPN. So, hey, man, you're going to have to hop on it. And I know that the comments will be talking about, I have ESPN Plus. Does that count? I have this. Does that count? I have Hulu. I have this. I don't know, man. I don't know. What I do know, you basically have two clear paths going forward. Either you pony up to $29.99 to get the WWE alongside all the other slew of sports that ESPN has to offer. You get that and you be hunky-dory going forward. Or you go ahead and you get a VPN that could cost as low as $7, go as high as $15, combine with your Netflix International, and then you'll be able to access all those kinds of things. But boy, oh boy, the lead up from Clash to Wrestlepalooza, I'll leave you with this, is going to be stacked and wild. We're going to get some of the craziest go-homes. We're going to get a lot of segments. I'm hoping, if there is already rumors that Brock Lesnar is scheduled to appear at SmackDown, things of that sort. So then you know the SmackDowns are going to be stronger than they were ever before, considering that the last one in Boston was a big old dud. You're going to get big main stars appearing weekly, so they are going to put all their eggs into this Wrestlepalooza basket to make sure that the people understand that the WWE is stronger than ever. And at the end of the day, AEW and WWE, the tribal war continues. And I hate this. I really do hate this, because the last thing I'll leave you with this is really legitly leave you with this. This reminds me of what's happening in gaming. I come from the gaming world. I cover gaming. I've been gamer for like since I can remember. I was there during the console wars of the 90s of Nintendo and Sega. And as things mature, there was things of like exclusive games and things of that sort. They were trying to pull your attention, like, and then it got to exclusive DLC or exclusive time exclusive things like that, right? The gaming industry was trying to wiggle their way for you to buy their console. But now that the consoles are kind of, the wars are being settled and that PlayStation has a huge lead and Xbox kind of bowed out of it, what do they do? What do kind of the gamers and developers do? They created time as a resource, right? In order for me to be a multiplayer person, in my situation, I have to grind said game. If I don't grind said game, then I will fall behind, whether the meta changes or, in terms of DLC or, pay to win, all that kind of stuff happens in terms, but it's all time based. And the second that I leave said game and I go somewhere else, I suffer. And then I realize, ooh, I can't do this anymore, right? And so that's what the WWE is doing. They are using time as a resource by counter-programming AEW. They're saying, hey, how can you keep up with AEW when you don't have time to keep up with AEW's stories? How can you justify buying a pay-per-view for X amount of dollars if we are going to be on the same time? You don't have the time anymore to invest into AEW. And then the rumors continue to swirl that TNA may be purchased by TKO. And if TKO and TNA move from Thursdays to Wednesdays to counter-program Dynamite of AEW, then you don't have time for AEW's weekly television. It gets more complex. And the more complex it gets, it starts to hurt us, the individual. So, what are you going to be watching on September 20th? Are you going to be watching Toronto AEW All Out, or are you going to watch a Wrestlepalooza? And if you do end up watching both, when are you going to watch the other? I don't know. Time will tell. But that is going to be, that's here what we do at Sancho West Wrestling. We talk about what's going down. Thank you so much for watching. Comment down below. I want to know your thoughts, and I bid you adieu. Adios, y'all.